portion of the news is brought to you by Shell Ultra Low Sulfur Diesel.
An armed robbery suspect is detained in hospital under heavy police guard this morning after being shot by police during an armed robbery on Saturday. Police say around 7:30 p.m. the armed suspect entered a Seabreeze Lane convenience store and demanded cash. The cashier complied and gave the suspect a small sum of money from the cash register. However, the suspect's armed robbery attempt was spoiled as a police officer, a customer in the store at that time, confronted him, ordering him to drop his weapon. The suspect, however, refused and pointed his handgun at the officer. Police say the officer, in fear of his life, then shot the suspect once to the left side. A handgun along with a quantity of ammunition and the stolen cash was recovered from the suspect, who is detained in serious condition under heavy police guard at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Investigations continue. Also from the police, 2 overnight shootings have left 2 men detained in hospital this morning. In the first incident, shortly after 10 p.m. last night, a man was walking on Key West Street when a man in a white Suzuki Swift vehicle, armed with a handgun, shot him in the arm and chest before speding off. The victim was transported to hospital, where he is detained in serious condition. In the second incident, shortly after 1 a.m. this morning, police say the victim, along with another man, was driving in his Honda vehicle on Wolf Road when they heard the sound of a gunshot. The victim then realized that he was shot to the lower back. The victim was transported to hospital, where he is detained in stable condition. Investigations are ongoing. Just shy of 30 years in the public service, Elizabeth Keju has become one of the most decorated public officers, rising to the rank of Permanent Secretary of the Public Service 2 years before retiring from the service. On Friday, at her retirement luncheon at the Paul Farquharson Center, it was evident she was left some big shoes to fill, and her achievements will live on for years to come. Clint Watson reports.
If you name it, Elizabeth Keju has done it. The decorated senior civil servant bids farewell to a well-crafted and colorful 30-year career in the public service. And she does it with no regrets. As Permanent Secretary of the Public Service, the passionate Keju's credit list includes a paradigm shift of the placement of HR officers in various ministries. Under her leadership, the Public Services Training Division expanded and will soon occupy state-of-the-art facilities on Blake Road. Senior Undersecretary Harcourt Brown and Deputy Permanent Secretary Janice Miller outlined major achievements and characteristics of their leader.
Leadership that for the first time in the history of the ministry has seen the beginning of a process for the complete digitization of our registry facility.
Now, everybody who has worked with Ms. Keju in the past know that she is an ideas person. She has great ideas. I mean, great ideas for public service reform. And sometimes we spend hours just discussing changes that we'd like to see in the public service and how it should be implemented.
Minister responsible for the public service, the Honorable Shane Gibson, hailed PS Keju as an exemplary leader, while Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, recalled the time when the PS met with him, describing it as a defining moment.
You are a role model. You are a perfect mentor. If you want to know what you should be like in the public service, look at the contributions that PS Keju made. Look at the path that she took. Look at all that she did in making sure that she represented the government and the people of the Bahamas well.
You were overcome by the emotion of the moment, and it demonstrated your heart. And for me, it was a very special moment in my own life as Prime Minister, to know that I was speaking with someone who was a complete professional, but who was able to, in a moment of great meaning to me, to be able to demonstrate the feeling and compassion that she had for the matter that we were discussing.
Clearly moved by her tenure of excellence, the minister paid a unique and fitting tribute that summed it all up when he reflected on the work of Elizabeth Keju and her contributions to nation building. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
And that does it for this portion of the news, but don't you move. Sports with Julian Gibson is up next.